school teacher through iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher. It's powered by Donors Choose. They can receive $5,000 for their classroom in supplies and resources. Nominate now, iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
Continuing coverage of Vikings Training Camp 2026 live from TCO Performance Center, the new Winter Park. Very emotional. It's the last hour of training camp coverage for us. It's like the last day of summer vacation and the last day of school. It gets really getting choked up, as is Mark Rosen. You were having trouble containing your excitement for that Vikings offense. They were destroying and dissecting that Ravens defense here today.
It was fun. I mean, I think without hearing from the respective head coaches, I'd say that these last 2 days, and you never know how it's going to go, some of them end up in, being some cheap shots, and, you see some of the video that goes on, extracurricular stuff. And I'd say it was pretty well run. I think I would assume that both coaches got what they wanted out of it, especially, for us and for the people who were here today. Their only chance to this week until they play the Packers on September 13th to watch the first team offense and defense in kind of the roles that they're going to have without obviously some of the hitting they're going to have and not just the quarterback or the quarterbacks are obviously wearing the red jerseys and you can't really touch them, but even the Justin Jefferson's going out for a reception and they can't knock him down. Oh, we got our guest here.
You can finish. Right. You can finish.
I was going to say, I think it was pretty successful. I mean, I really do. I think it was a good 2 days, and now they get ready and play, the preseason game on Saturday and finish up at Denver, and they can start turning all their attention to the Packers following.
Excited and delighted to be joined here at the Perch by Vikings inside middle linebacker coach Mike Siravo. And Mike, you're also senior defensive coach. Is that correct?
Yep. There's a lot of titles around this league.
I was going to say that. Plenty of them. Does the title come with more money?
No.
Yeah.
It's a pay cut.
Yeah, right. I get it. That
just means I draw cards now.
Right. Do you want more money or do you want a title?
No.
I'd rather have the money.
I just want to be in the building.
Yeah, that's it.
Make sure my code works.
Yeah, it did today. And, a lot of young guys trying to make the team. You kind of know that. Weren't you a walk-on at Boston College?
I was.
Yeah,
I was.
So you have to prove something, and you play pretty well for Boston College,
you're
right?
Coming out fighting every day, giving your best, trying to earn respect.
Yeah.
And just don't say much and try to let the film talk. So
yeah, and it did.
That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying, what did you feel? Our bird's eye view. We're trying to watch things. You see the defense way on the other side of the field, so it's really difficult for us to grasp everything that's going on. But kind of first impressions about how these 2 days went for your group and what your objectives were and what you got out of it.
I think the first thing is communication, and we're trying to get guys to understand why Flo calls what he does, when we want it. When we want to get in and out of looks, and guys built communication up well against a different team that had some different looks. So that's the first thing is the communication in the defense. And then the play style, especially for the young guys, whether it's special teams or defense, it's got to be, violent block destruction, tackling. So those ingredients are there. There's always things to clean up. We set a high standard and we just keep trying to make it better and better. And it was good to see the guys communicate well, execute well, and then have a physical play style.
I don't know, a saying or a description of B-Flow's defense that we hear over and over again is aggressive without being reckless. Is that the good way to describe it?
Yeah, it is. It's trying to create a lot of problems for them without too many problems for us.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Because you can create problems at times on defense, but we try to.
Well, can that happen when you're trying to be so aggressive that sometimes?
Yeah, you just you single out the guys that can do certain roles. The guys have certain roles, can do certain things, can handle a bunch of checks on their plate maybe, and other guys just wind them up and go. So it's you can make some mistakes, but we try to make it easy on us, but complicated on them, and not have a lot of errors back there. Well, that's why the communication is so important.
Mike, you got a chance to call the defensive signals last week's first game, right? Is that going to happen again on Saturday, or do you change it up?
He changes it up.
Okay.
I mean, he's done that since we've been here. He's had, the kind of senior guys call a half and another guy call a half. I think Metellus called the Titans game in the second half last year. So, and it's great for them to do that. But yeah, he'll change it up, and we'll find out the day of. But it's an awesome opportunity because everyone's got the answers until you put the headset on.
Right.
And then you're like, wow, I really don't have all the answers, you know. So
same thing when I put my headset
exactly
on.
Right.
I think I got
Everyone wants to do your job.
Yeah,
I
right.
would say this on the radio. Now, come try it, buddy.
Mike Siravo was our guest. He's a middle linebackers coach. My sidekick, my producer, Teneby, and I always joke about you have an inside linebackers coach, outside linebackers coach, middle linebackers coach. It's really specialized. It seems like there's almost more coaches than there are players.
Yeah, there's a lot, and it's necessary because you've got, if you take the inside backer room, you've got Cash and Ewell that are multi-year vets. So one voice is going to talk to them schematically while Goldie's coming in and, you know, building a foundation. So someone's getting a 400 level grad class and someone's getting Spanish 2.
Okay.
So that's the coaches, and then with the inside outside, the outside backers become our DNs in the 4-down package. They have a lot of pass rush specialty, setting edges, you know, more heavily involved in the run game. And then the inside backers are really heavily involved with the coverage and the pressures and a lot of the run fits. So that's why that's so specialized like that.
You talked about, you know, young kids learning things and such. You like the teaching part of it, I would assume, right?
It. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
it's great.
What is it about that that's so rewarding?
Because all the brains are different. You know, you can't go up there and just lecture. I think I've had to grow that I learn more from players. I like to ask the veterans what they've learned over their career. We can always take great ideas from a veteran player. Maybe the words I'm using aren't hitting someone's brain. Maybe there's a player who needs more walkthrough, who needs to draw things up on the board. You know, he's a film guy. He's just a verbal guy. They all learn different. So the challenge is you've got to figure out a way to get them to execute, and it's new every year. So the scheme might stay the same, tackling all that, but the brains in the room are new every year, and it keeps you fresh, makes you think of new ways to use technology, you know, all these different AI programs and note-taking programs, and just keep pushing the envelope on that.
Well, you know, it's interesting because I find the same in golf is where you will have two instructors teaching the same thing. If you're the student, it registers with you coming from one person, from another it doesn't. It says it's the way they speak to you because people do learn differently.
Do you play?
Yeah, I play.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I hit knockdown punch,
don't even
draws.
start.
Yeah, I'd like to play golf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you play around here?
Play over at Royal Club. You name it, alphabetical order. Let's go down the list. You like to play?
I love to play. I'm a Highland Park guy. I may go hit balls if Flo lets us out of here. But
Yeah. Highland is Highland National then?
Yeah, Highland National. I have a junior golfer, a 16-year-old who's about a 2 index. And watching him with teachers has taught me a lot. You know, if you just say and yell to a guy, shallow the club, right? Shallow the club. But we need to know what feel that is, right? You got to talk to your feel, your brain, and that's the same thing we do. We can say, you know, tackle them, right? But there's got to be a feel to how to do it and connect the mind to the body to create some kind of movement.
That is amazing you bring up shallow the club, because my youngest boy, who was going to the Ohio State University for senior year, played basketball, picked up golf. Right now he's working on shallowing the club, and I'm like,
what does that mean?
I don't know what it means.
I do, and I can't do it. It means I flip my hands and skull the ball.
Yeah, flip your hand. That's what he's saying. He's trying not to flip. So then I see him on the range. He goes, I figure he's got one of the aiming stakes under his arm, and he's doing this, and I'm like, I can't do
The joke
those.
in my house is I figure something out every time I'm at the range, and I still go out and shoot 100.
That's exactly right.
Again, we're talking to Mike Siravo.
That's why they call me Swerve in the building.
Swerve.
Oh,
It's
Swerve.
the hardest.
I like
Swerve. We'll
It's
leave
the
it at
hardest
that.
Italian name to say,
That's funny.
Siravo.
Yeah.
So
we always hear that, you know, in this case with Brian Flores, that, you know, so much is under wraps right now. They're not going to show anything in these games, in the last couple of games. I mean, you know what how voluminous this defense is. So how much are we going to see in game one that we're not seeing right now? Is it really going to be flip of the script?
Probably. I don't know if I put a percentage on it. Probably 30% missing some stuff, but we're close.
Yeah.
We got to practice it, and we've already run it, and people know about it, and we got to execute, and it still gives people problems. We want to we want to stress people out. So it's okay that they see it on tape.
That stress people out.
Yep.
Every year, you gain players, you lose players. Grenard's gone. How much, and he's a hell of a player, and he was meant a lot to this defense. What kind of adjustments do you make personnel-wise to try to make up for the things that he did so well?
Yeah, it's funny, the edge position, you can have a superstar out there, and that's where their superstar is, their tackle.
Sure.
So you're putting superstar against superstar, or you can find mismatches, right? You can make a tight end or a back block who they're good, and they're great because they're here in the NFL, but they're not going to work on that as much as an offensive tackle is. So you look for those mismatches, and how can I line up schematically to make people get a mismatch? So that's where you look for pass rush in different places.
Yeah.
And when you talk about the learning curve, you think of a guy like Dallas Turner, who now has that opportunity because Grenard's moved on, and it does take time sometimes to all this stuff that kind of kick in between the ears as much as physically. And Dallas Turner has all the physical tools. Do you see that maturation happening right now?
I mean, have you guys? What have you thought of him in camp so far?
He's been destroying people.
Yeah, and it takes time. I think. Our new personnel staff came in, Nolan and his guys, and they made a statement in one of our meetings. They said it's very rare for, I don't care what round pick you are, for a rookie to come in and be a great player his first year. It's an anomaly. And everyone thinks because you're a first-round pick that means you're going to go out there and be dominant, and that doesn't happen. It's very rare. So it takes time, and you can see Dallas really mature as a player, and he's got good people around him. He's got good coaches around him. But he's also, there's constant maturation, right? We all keep growing up as we get older. We learn new things. So he's just finding a different level of himself.
That's probably part of the art of coaching, too, because, in the NFL, you're trying to win all the time, and there's not a lot of patience sometimes for young guys. Right. If you don't contribute, at least in the first couple of years, you kind of move on with them. So there has to be a patience there in getting the most out of a player and deciding how much time do we give this player to develop, right?
Yeah, and I think that's where Flo is really good and KO are great with instead of making this guy do 10 things that he can't do 7 of, let's find the 3 things he does well. Put him in that role, and let's get him some confidence, and let's find him a role on the team. And that's kind of the trick to the 53-man and the calling the game, and who's out there on the field. Can we call this because maybe this guy doesn't have many reps at it, or it's not his forte? So that's the magic, is finding those guys a place, getting their legs under them, and then adding on to their repertoire in terms of what they can do.
Well, I think that's interesting, too. I would think we talk about this a lot, too. Just in we're casuals. We don't understand the game like the guys that do it for a living. But you sometimes think, as you're putting a game plan together, you're looking for the strengths and weaknesses of the opponent you're playing. Like you say, you're trying to get matchup situations. And I always kind of compare it to like doing a crossword puzzle. Like 1 week you're trying to do this because this team is good at that. And the next week you might change up your defensive formations and your looks because this team does this well and does something else not so well.
Yeah, I think more so in college. I spent 20 years in college. Mm-hmm. This game changes from series to series. It's not even game to game. It's series to series. The game changes. Definitely half to half, but teams are different every week when they show up. What they're doing, so you're watching tape on the Bears, and it's like, well, they do that against these schemes, but they're not going to do it against us. So it's constantly changing every week.
That's supposed to be a blast. I mean, you talk about college, Boston College to Columbia to Temple, not necessarily a big powerhouse team. So teaching was your MO on a constant basis with young kids. Is it? A big difference now that you're working with some bigger kids, just still learning the game.
Yeah. One of our young coaches asked if I ever had to sleep in the office, and at Temple, we had to help our guys study for exams. Like, they had to be eligible. So you did everything in college. You were a recruiter, a coach, a psychiatrist. You were an academic advisor. And I think it makes you become resourceful and makes you realize how much impact you can have on these guys if you look at the learning process in different ways.
You got to go. One last question. Is there one team or a team or two or just a player that gives you a little sleepless night, speaking about sleeping in the office, where you go, we got to have our best game here because these guys on the other side of the field really know what they're doing?
I'll just keep it general. The quarterbacks that are great at not getting tackled. Those are fits, in the pass rush, because the coverage can only hold up so long. Right. So that's just jumps out to me. I'm not going to name any names; they're all over the league, but that's a hard week. Is those guys that you're running free, or you got a great rush on the edge, and they still have this, elusiveness that's just unbelievable. Those are the ones that scare me.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Good luck to the rest of the
good luck to you.
Season.
Let's go play.
Yeah, you bet. Let's
come to Highland National.
Yeah, I will.
Wear a helmet. You'll get hit in the head.
They pass them out at the beginning of the round. Garrett Gill's the guy that did the renovation out there. It's a terrific golf course. Yeah. And the Snoopy bunker?
I know.
The Snoopy bunker on number 15, I think it is. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, we'll go out and play some.
Of course,
I'd
love
to.
And see you, Swerve.
Swerve.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, man.
We'll
you could just say Servano.
Servano.
Swerve. Who cares? Thanks,
Swerve, Serrano. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more. We're broadcasting live from the TCO Performance Center here on The Fan.
You're listening to Common, live from training camp on The Fan. Presented by the Minnesota Sports and Events Golden Ticket.
Score a chance at top-tier tickets from John Mulaney to the Smashing Pumpkins, My Chemical Romance, and more. Don't wait. Enter now. KFAN.com. Keyword contest.
Being live on location like we are today at TCO Performance Center, New Winter Park, the one thing that it can be ear-splitting is when you have your headset on, one of the other people don't, and then they start to come back and they pick up their headset and starts clanking. Yes. That's what just happened, 10
Sorry.
That's okay. It's no big deal.
Usually it's the other way around. It's you guys with me.
Yeah, it's just a turnabout is fair play. I get that. Swerve and I are going to go play golf.
Yeah.
I'm going to show Swerve how to hit a knockdown punch, cut, fade, draw.
He'll be another former athlete that you'll be better than. You'll be more athletic than.
Do you remember when we had Big Meow on before his last season? Matter of fact, he got traded that year, did he not? Because they were doing the Wolves were doing this. They were doing the media tour, and so they offered up Big Meow to us. We put him on, and we started.
And he had zero desire to be on the show.
He didn't want to be on at all, and we started talking golf. And he kind of perked up a little bit when we started talking golf. And I said, how about you and I play? You and me, no strokes, even up. I said, we'll play for your 1 year salary, my 1 year salary. And he goes, I don't think I want to do that.
He just got married over the weekend.
Yeah, I saw
congrats
that.
To Big
Meow. He's got a ring.
Jordan.
He's got the whole thing. Oh, speaking of...
Got a couple rings this year.
Big ones.
Speaking of the Wolves and the Wolves and Big Meow stuff, I saw this story too. They're ranking, this is one of those list radio things, the best and worst front offices in the National Basketball Association. They listed them as the 15 best and then the 15 worst front offices, okay?
Not ownership.
No, just front office.
Okay.
So front office, they have, and maybe that includes, does it include ownership? Just says front office. It says their rankings are based on having a coherent plan, creativity, malleability, being self-aware, the organization be fully aligned, and the owner is willing to spend money. Okay, so you have all those as criteria. Wolves' front office is in the top 15. They're not in the bottom 15. Where do you think they rank? Now, I know we think very highly of Tim Connolly, and he is very good, but where do you think...
Is it who is it the fans who did this? Or
no, this is media people. It's it might just be one guy with CBS, but I think it's several.
I think the fans have always been very high on Connolly.
Yeah. So I think this is CBS Sports. Where do you think in the top 15 the Minnesota Timberwolves are?
I would say 8th or so. I think if it's obviously current, I think there's certainly a healthy amount of skepticism even after the LaMelo move that they made, saying I don't know if he's hurt and he's going to fit in with Ant and all that kind of stuff. So other moves, I'd say probably 8th or 9th.
Well, I mean, OKC is going to be very high on this list.
They're number 1.
San Antonio is going to be very high on this list.
They're I think 4.
Sure.
After that. I'd like to, are any of them obvious ahead of the Wolves front office? I don't know. I mean, I could see them being top 5 here.
They are. Rosen was closer. They're ranked 10th.
Ooh, that low.
Here's what it says. Tim Connolly has perhaps the most interesting track record to critique of any GM in basketball. You can find serious fault with basically all of his big decisions. He paid the Bridges price for Rudy Gobert without getting the Bridges championship result. If anything, you could argue Connolly paid more since Walker Kessler, whom he's already drafted, turned into a cheaper facsimile of Gobert. He traded Big Meow in part because of apron issues he created himself with the Gobert trade. Now Towns is a champion in New York. Randall was capped up this offseason. Dillingham trade was an unmitigated disaster. Connolly effectively just bet the Anthony Edwards era on a co-star in LaMelo Ball that Charlotte was eager to move. Although it isn't quite as earth-shattering as it was somewhat rectified by the Io acquisition, letting Na leave stings as well. All of this is valid. If you want to plunge Minnesota down your own personal list because of it, be my guest. Yet no team seems to outperform expectations in the postseason as consistently as Minnesota does. The Wolves, in the simplest of terms, feel built for the playoffs. Maybe that's a function of Connolly being early on the NBA supersizing trend, or maybe the Wolves are just better at identifying two-month players than the rest of the league. We'll have a better sense of the answer after we see how this smaller version of the team holds up next spring, but Connolly built the bulk of Denver's 2023 championship team, and his 2024 Timberwolves were championship caliber before some bad shooting variants doomed him in the conference finals. He has a real track record. You don't win championships by accident. It's better to be too aggressive than too passive. The Spurs and Thunder have overwhelming advantages in talent. They cannot be caught by traditional means. Connolly's high-risk, high-reward approach is really the only path Minnesota has to catching them. And even if the Ball deal could go wrong, and it does in different ways, the chance of it going right is just about the only thing that could have realistically given the Wolves a chance in the West. And I think that kind of sums it up really well. I think that was
really well said.
Yeah, I think it is, and that's why the trade had to be made. Connolly's not afraid to make different changes. You know, he did the Gobert thing. Gobert, you trade Big Meow, and you get Randall. You know, you do all these different things, and like he says, it's difficult to keep up with the Thunder right now and with San Antonio.
They got the door open for a power forward. They're still looking for. They don't have a lot of money. Jonathan Kuminga's name is being bounced around. It sounds like the Lakers might have the inside track. They have more money to spend. But Kuminga, I think the Wolves could promise him something the Lakers can't. That's the starting power forward spot, and how badly he wants to do that. I mean, Tim Connolly, I know Johnny Krasinski did a podcast with him over the weekend, and he made it sound like we got a couple guys that are still on the burner, and I think Kuminga is definitely one of them. And then Denver made a trade, so now it's no doubt that Kuminga's moving. I mean, obviously he's a free agent, so it'd be nice if they could land him. I think he's 23 years old. He'd fit.
You like him, don't you?
He'd fit right. Yeah, I think he'd fit right in with his team, with Jaden and the rest of the gang for sure. Till Dante gets back, he can help out a little bit more.
But I do think Connolly has made so many moves now where we're at the point where after this LaMelo Ball move, there's no more bullets left in the chamber.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like the amount of future draft picks. There's not as many young prospects on the roster that you can trade elsewhere to bring in. So if the LaMelo Ball thing doesn't go through, I don't know how it's going to work here.
Well,
yeah,
it's said about a lot of teams, but yeah, I mean, it's you're banking on it on the Melo really gelling and staying healthy and being that asset that's going to put Anthony Edwards even at another stratosphere.
Well, I don't like repeating myself. You know that.
No, you don't like to do that.
I rarely do that. But I've said a couple 13, 14 times. I did like, when they made the Gobert trade, I didn't know if it would work, but let's try something. And he seems to have that attitude. I'm going to try something. I'm not just going to sit on my hands and go, well, let's see if this works out and develop it and just keep playing. If it doesn't work, he identifies what other teams you have to beat. Remember, he figured, well, I got to beat Denver. So he kind of constructed a team to beat the team that he actually built originally, right? And now he's got to figure out a way to try to stop San Antonio and Oklahoma City. And that's going to be difficult to do, especially as young as San Antonio is. Now you don't know how long they'll be able to keep that core together, because they've got young guys that are really good players that are going to have to get paid eventually, too. They can't keep them all.
They sucked for a long time, and they reaped the rewards of it, and especially getting Wemby in the draft, and that's the Wolves went a different route. It's been a long time, but they obviously bottomed out years ago, but it's a whole different world right now, and that's why San Antonio is where they are.
They intentionally
Intentionally tanked, yes.
Intentionally tanked. Let's take our final break. It's our final segment of Training Camp 2026 coming up next. Short break. Come back to TCO after this here on the Fan.
He loves the Vikings. He has always been a Viking.
Join the Power Trip's 25th birthday bash at Treasure Island, November 5th and 6th. Thursday night's comedy show has reached capacity, but the wait list is still open. And make sure to listen to the Power Trip for chances to win your way in. Then be there Friday morning, no registration needed, for a live broadcast and a Vegas trip in November with the show up for grabs. Details now, KFAN.com/25. KFAN.com/25.
They're going to Vegas. Do they go there often?
Oh, is that right?
I've never heard of it. 25 years, huh?
Yeah.
Big deal. I've been around.
How long have you had a show?
30 plus.
Oh, did they do anniversaries to Vegas?
Never had an anniversary or celebration.
Nothing.
Not even a pat on the back.
Not even an email.
No, nothing.
You wouldn't want it.
Not even like a tweet.
It's. Just even a verbal slap on the back for, hey, thanks for everything you do. And for what you don't do, which is a lot too. But I don't understand that.
Take you for granted.
So yesterday at this time, Rosen's going, well, looks like we're about to sweep the Braves. We're going to sweep the Braves. And then Chenby says,
We're
not so
about
fast.
to.
Yeah.
Right.
And not so fast.
It's 4-0.
They only scored 3 goals.
So all the next thing you know, it's 4-4. So then all of a sudden you've jinxed them. But then, what do you know? The Twins come back and win 6-4. The Clemens kid drove in 3 runs yesterday. Big hit. After my favorite Twin, and I'd said this, I'm not late to I just love Josh Bell the way he plays. Veteran, always plays. He's reached base in, I think, 20 consecutive games. And yesterday, he hustled out a double. Clemens drove him in. Twins win. They sweep the Braves team, which is very, very good. If the playoffs were to start today, we're in as a wild card.
Yeah, they got a half-game lead over Texas and the game over Toronto. The Twins are in that coveted third spot.
It's coveted.
The Yankees and the Red Sox are running away with the wild card, but and the Twins are still only 5 games out of first place. It's not 4 games out of first place. It's not hardly impossible.
No, it's not at all
to catch them. Given the schedule should ease up. I know they're off today. They play
they'll play the White Sox. I think they have 6 games. I think they got 6 with the White Sox, maybe 6 with Cleveland as well. I think I could be wrong on those numbers, but
I mean they're still under 500. But again, it's not their fault. I mean, this is the way that they can start putting it together and hopefully get Joe Ryan back and healthy. And it wasn't a serious injury, but I mean, his core somehow got messed up. He had arm fatigue. He's kind of faced this before late in the season, but they really need Joe Ryan to be Joe Ryan again if they have a chance of kind of certainly catching the White Sox, but more importantly trying to lock down that third wild card spot.
You like this club, don't you?
Well, I agree. I probably watched more lately. Even obviously the Philadelphia series was a disaster, especially the game blew, and then every time you think they're down and out and that they have no shot, they manage to rally and
do what they just did against the Braves.
Atlanta is a perfect example. That's a really good team that's going to be in the postseason, and they end up sweeping them at home and giving them new life again. So we'll see if the Padres are playing good ball.
Let's go.
Let's get it going.
Let's play. They loved it.
Yeah, so that was happening, and I flipped over and watched.
They need to do some sort of Josh Bell night thing, right? Where they handle cowbells for people to play after he gets a hit and drives in a run. You play that everyone's got their cowbells going.
I like it. They need to do something.
He got off to a slow start, and he's been killing it.
Yeah, he's been playing really well. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Lynx win. They won
it was
again.
a late game last night,
too. It was a late game, yeah.
That's why
you were sleeping.
Yeah, that's right. They win again. Olivia Miles tweaked an ankle, but it doesn't sound serious, right? Because they said it was 4 minutes to go, so they pull her out of the game. She goes to the locker. She comes back to the bench, and then she even crashed the
post-game dance party.
The post-game thing. So it seems to be minor, and they need it to be because
She was good again last night,
yeah,
too.
Again, it's, we were talking with Swerve earlier. I call him Swerve. Got a good vibe with him. We go golfing all the time. Inside linebackers coach for the Vikings. And he talked about, he goes, a lot of people expect first-round draft picks to just hit the ground running and be superstars right away. It doesn't work that way. And you kind of think that even in basketball, too. She's a first-round draft pick, right?
Yep.
But she's a rookie.
2 overall.
You could make the argument she's as good as any player in the league.
I'd make the argument she's MVP of the league this year.
Right. And in a rookie year. So that just goes to show you would think.
Who votes on MVP for WNBA? Is it journalists? Is it?
Not sure.
Because she's still not going to get enough respect just because she's in the middle of the country.
Right.
She's a rookie. She doesn't have the name of a Caitlin Clark at this stage. But
she's a shoo-in for rookie of the year. But that's
I know. But she's the best player on the best team in the league that had to go without fee for the vast majority of it, and she was carrying this team. I mean, you watch the games, it's not like she's just great on her own and can make her own plays. She makes all of her teammates better, which is, she had a behind-the-back pass last night to set up a teammate for a 3.
They had a packed house at Golden State, too, and they were wound up and fired up. They have a good team. And
really good team.
Miles had, she was 8 for 10 from the field. I mean, you watch her, and they always use that term, breaking somebody's ankles. Well, she basically almost literally did last night for one of the players from the Valkyries that just lost her balance in the paint, and Miles steps back and hits a 3. 7 assists. They win by 11. They had a bigger lead than that, but she's just a joy to watch. And that's they're 30-7 right now.
The WNBA MVP is chosen by a national panel of national sports writers and broadcasters. Oh, goody.
Oh, boy.
Guys that never played the game, unathletic people. It's sad.
They probably barely watched her play.
Players and fans do not vote for the regular season MVP award. It's a point system.
Yeah.
First place 10, 7, 5, 3, 1, first through fifth. It's like that.
She won't win MVP, but she should.
Well, win the ship, and that'll be plenty.
It says opinions on the Reddit WNBA community are mixed regarding whether media panels heavily favor raw stats over team standings, though vote breakdowns are fully published by the league once the voting concludes right after the regular season ends. And I guess when you talk about those awards, I've always thought they're kind of silly to begin with, and don't mean a whole heck of a lot, but it's subjective. You very rarely see an MVP on a 500 club, right? Doesn't happen very often, and probably for good reason. How valuable could they be if the team is only 500? But then you think, well, let's say they led the league in scoring, they led the league in 3-point percentage, they led the league in this and assists and that. Well, that's pretty valuable to a team. But then if the team isn't very good, you don't get as much.
In any sport, that's normally the case. That you're not going to have a league MVP on a team that's 500. It just doesn't happen. But Olivia's, getting.
Happened to A-Rod once, right? Didn't he do it with the Texas Rangers?
I think he did. I think that's right. I think that's it. I think that's correct.
So they keep rolling along, and she's going to, they'll get a little bit of a break. I think they have a break coming up here, one more game and another break, and then the playoffs start about a month from now.
All's quiet on the Wild front, Tennessee?
Yeah, what the
Nothing?
heck?
It's been quiet for a long time.
But it's been quiet all around the league, right? Or
it has been in the league, yeah. For the Wild specifically, you have 2 things we're looking at. Quinn Hughes, it sounds like they have had some talks. And then the second part would be, we don't know where to go with the Dylan Larkin thing until Detroit gets a GM, and they're sitting on their hands before they get a GM. They're in no rush over there.
Yeah.
But we're about a month before training camp. Regular season for NHL this year starts earlier. They're starting October 1st.
Wow.
Because they have added an extra 2 games this year. They're having the 84-game schedule. So, once that schedule turns, once the calendar turns to September, we got to sign Quinnesota here, and we got to, if you're going to make a Dylan Larkin thing, and if you're Detroit, you've got your captain of your team who says he wants to get traded. How do you just go into a season and just welcome him right back in?
Yeah.
And
I don't want to be here.
Fans aren't going to be happy with them. Locker room might not be happy with them. But listening to Russo on his podcast, he made it seem like the favorite for the Detroit job right now is the Tigers. There's a Tigers GM or a Tigers assistant GM who's a analytics guy.
Oh, really?
But he has a little bit of a hockey background. Okay. Oh, there's Joe Mauer out there throwing passes to his kids out there.
Yeah, I was just talking to Joe. He Kyler had that in common. They were both number 1 draft picks in baseball. Joe decided to just play one sport That was the end of that.
He was a hell of a quarterback.
Oh, God, yeah. That's why Bobby Bowden.
See if he still got it.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
That was a wobbler. That was not a tight spiral. That wasn't. He chose the right sport. I can see that right now.
Yeah.
Baseball. That was not a tight spiral that he just threw there. Nothing on it either. It's just basically.
This kid's got some talent, though. Look, he's got some Chris Carter to him. Toe tapping.
No kidding.
And Joe's got no zip on the ball. It's just these little wobbly lobs. What is he doing? Now I know his kid doesn't look like he's more than 6 years old, but come on, put something on it. Let's see it.
Yep.
No.
That was my favorite thing about growing up in the era I did was like during my childhood. It was when like Chris Carter was here for the Vikings, and there's nothing better as a kid than practicing what they're doing right now, where you're practicing catching the ball over the out of bounds and tapping the two toes in.
We were Fred Biletnikoff in my age.
Biletnikoff?
Yeah, that's how old I am.
Oh, so what was he known for? I never saw him play.
Stick 'em.
So you all put stick 'em on your gloves.
Stick 'em on the
Yeah,
glove.
he had stick 'em all over his uniform. That was before they outlawed it. He certainly did.
Was I gonna ask,
Dad, you want to have a catch? That's what they're doing.
I was going to ask you something about the hockey thing. It was a controversial question, too.
That's interesting.
boy.
Dang it. Give me a second.
Something wild related or NHL related?
No, it was wild related, but I don't remember what it was. No, I got distracted by the Mauer situation.
Sorry.
I had a chance to. I brought this up on the radio. There was some kind of a holiday thing, and I was hosting it over. You know, where here at TCO, where they do the. They have the holiday lights. You pay $40. You drive through. It takes 20 minutes, half hour to go through. It's like being on the North Pole, right? And so, but I had a chance to try. You know, the aw shucks thing. That's not an act. That's how he is.
Joe?
He is nicest guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fun to talk to.
His personality really hasn't changed since I met him in high school.
Then I remember facing him in the.
Oh, here we go.
Remember in the charity softball game, and I'm pitching, and he comes to the plate, and I'm thinking,
here we go.
Watch this. I'm gonna get Joe Mauer out. I'm gonna. A
little hard doing softball, but
right. But I thought I'm gonna get in. First pitch, he just slaps one between first base and second base for a single.
Every hit he had in that game was slapping it between first and second base.
Over and over and over again.
That hit made him a lot of money.
It made him a lot of money.
Right. He liked that Metrodome turf early in his career.
And you know what? And I was kind of hoping he would try to hit one over the fence because they weren't even using the real fence. Remember, they brought in a snow fence, the orange fence. So, like, our home run fence was like about
like 220. 240, something like that.
At the best, it only seemed like it was a few paces past the infield grass, but that was still
good memories.
What was that wild question? It was going to be controversial too, and it makes me mad that I can't think of it. Oh well, how about this? So the 2 extra games is strictly for money, right? There's just to
of course, of course it is. Yeah, why else would you add the 2 games? Well, they are limiting 2 preseason games because of it, so now they've cut down to 4 preseason, which. Their preseason was always too long. 6 is way too much. Starters don't. Your main guys don't even play in half of them.
Usually play in the home game. You'll see at least one line. Or
usually the teams.
I know what the question was. It was about Larkin. Why does he want to leave? Is it money or is it he wants to win a championship? He doesn't like Detroit.
Well, money's not an issue. He's under contract for like 5 more years. At a pretty reasonable deal for what he produces. He's in the $8 million range. So it's definitely not a money thing. It's he's been in Detroit a long time. They keep pushing to make the playoffs. They haven't had success while he's been there.
Okay.
I think he got a little bit of a taste of the success with winning a gold medal for Team USA and seeing what that was like and how much fun that was. And
why does he think it's going to be any better here?
What?
You know what? I'm just kidding. We're a really good club. We're going to go make a deep run in the playoffs.
There's a lot of Minnesota sports fans and Wild fans who talk like that. And, I get it. This is a franchise that hasn't had playoff success and were the one-and-dones for the longest time and finally just got the second round last year but still lost in 5. And people think that they can't win here. But you look at, the talent out there. How many teams in the league have a threesome of Quinn Hughes, Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Boldy? You can look at the Colorado Avalanche, and then after that, they're you've got some massive star power here, and even I've been reading the stuff in the Athletic of the fan surveys, and people are worried about the lack of prospects here now because they've had to give up so many prospects. So it's that's kind of we have by far more star power than we've ever had. We have as good a star power as anyone in the league. Yeah, we need to supplement that a little bit. We need to add to it, and it's not a perfect roster, but. this is a team that you should go into the regular season thinking, hey, like even right now, I think their odds are top 5 to win a Stanley Cup in the National Hockey League. They got a chance.
Athletes being dissatisfied with something with their contract or whatever the case may be isn't unusual. I mean, Baker Mayfield has basically said, I'm not re-signing here in Tampa Bay now. And yet, the next breath he's going, I think we have the best team in the division. So, I mean, he's certainly sending the right signal. I don't think his teammates are looking at him like, well, he does. Of course, he wants to be there this year.
Well, he's not demanding a trade, though. I mean,
that's the difference.
There's a difference between, hey, I'm going to play out my contract here, and part of that might be a leverage play on Baker.
Well, it might be, but it sounds like he's. The Vikings will see him in week 3, I think. Yeah, they go down to Tampa Bay.
But yeah, he's not demanding a trade and wanting to get out of there. And he's also, quarterback, I guess, is technically the captain of the team. But when you're the captain and you want to get off the ship. That can rub some people the wrong way.
That sounds like a mutiny to me. But so one other list story here as we go.
It'd be like me doing the 10 Fitzgerald and then like a segment to go, just go, hey, Blakemore, take over for me the rest of the way. Right? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm asking you guys to take over the rest of this segment like yesterday because I really got nothing other than I saw this story, another one of those list stories, and it's really not even a list story. It's kind of an interesting. It's the title is. Can Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow avoid the quarterback midlife crisis?
Quarterback midlife crisis?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
It says, maybe 2020, he goes, don't get me wrong, confidence still under some of the high in this group. They say they're great, but it says 2025, maybe it was more of a fluke because none of those players, I mean, for instance, here's what he says about Mahomes. Coming off a torn ACL, LCL. Chiefs were 6-11 last season, 19th in scoring offense in the past 3 seasons. Kelsey's on a decline, Rice availability and Worthy struggles, other quarterback competition. The precedent, Brady had a 10-year drought between his 3rd and 4th titles. And they do that with all of Josh Allen, never been to a big game. Joe Burrow went to 1. Since then, there really hasn't been much. So you do wonder about some of
I mean, only two quarterbacks a year can get to the big game.
Right.
It's a very small percentage.
Right. I don't know.
I feel like we're going to get a bounce back year from the Chiefs.
You think so?
I don't know if it's, it could go either way, right? It's the team's over the hill and they've lost their window. Mahomes is still young enough. I'd like to think they have a window. But even his passing stats over the last couple of years have declined a little bit. He's not throwing the deep ball like he used to. Now, is that talent around him? Is that defenses have adjusted to the way he plays? I'm not sure. Josh Allen seems to be playing as good as he's.
It's so hard to stay at that level that the Chiefs have been at for so many years, and obviously to have the surrounding cast that you've had and have that. We saw that here. I mean, we thought even with Favre 2009, we're going to repeat it. We're going to come right back the next year, and then Sidney Rice decides, that's it. He couldn't play, and the chemistry is just not the same. I'm not saying it's the same thing's going to happen with Kansas City again, but I wouldn't pick him to be one of my top 3 favorites.
There goes your transportation.
There goes my ride.
There goes both carts are going.
I know. They better come back and get me.
What are you going to? You're going to have to crawl to your car.
I know it. I'm going to jump on your back. I've been doing that for years.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll get a
KOC sleeps in the office. He must have an extra cot in there. Maybe you could just stay here. Karn's probably got room in her office. You could just.
Well, I could go visit
in there,
her.
Isn't?
Yeah, she's in there. Yeah.
Can you make it over to the?
Yeah, I probably could, but then my car is way over there, so that's not going to help.
The problems you have, man.
It's first world
Rosey problems.
Do they have a? Could you use a pogo stick if they had one of those? Could you bounce your way over to your car?
I probably could. That was my cart.
Here it comes.
Why haven't you purchased one of those personal carts you see at the state fair?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay. You should get that for the state fair. That would be great. Little basket on the front.
Abbott know that. Yeah.
You could get the one, and it's got the little basket. You put your Blue Barn food in there. It'd be just great. Look at
he's just going right
by me. He's ignoring you. They got champagne in the driving. He's got champagne and he's driving.
Is he really?
Well, they're not open though, so he doesn't have an open bottle.
He's good.
Yeah, so he's
got a big crowd here today. Last day for the fans. Last day of training camp for us. And I think we're all ready. I don't think everybody is.
I'd
We got to
rather
go.
watch
We got 2 more. It seems like it. Oh my God! You got this game and then at
2
Denver.
very meaningless preseason. But please listen.
But yeah,
Saturday
please listen.
at noon, pregame at 10.
Well, people. I mean, it's. I think everyone wants
see
to take
JJ.
a long look at. Yeah, JJ.
Could see
and
Carson.
Claiborne. I mean, you got enough young guys that people are now kind of familiar with, and forgetting the result. I think it's still. It's. You take what you can out of it. I just think by the fourth quarter, people are going to just have running time. That's the way I've always felt about some of these games. But once you get past this week, and we got the fair starting next week, you got the game at Denver. You're thinking, okay, everyone's thinking about Green Bay.
What time does the game start this Saturday?
Noon.
Oh, what a bad break for
What?
me. No, I'm going to be golfing. That's a bad break. I guess I'm not going to see that second preseason game. I'm going to miss it. It's unfortunate for me.
I'm going to be there.
You are?
I'm going to be at the game on Saturday.
When is that third game?
The following Friday night
affair.
What
Denver,
time?
7 o'clock.
Oh, what a bad break for me. That Friday night at 7 o'clock, I'm going to be doing something.
Are you going to watch a preseason snap this year?
No.
You didn't watch the first game, did you?
Well, I told you. I talked about this on the air. I turned it on and watched like the first 2 plays and said, why am I watching this game? And I turned it off. I was going to watch it so we could talk about it. And I thought, well, there's nothing to talk about. And then when they opened it with a wide shot and I see Lieber, Bursic, and PA in the booth, I'm thinking, it's hard enough to listen to them. I don't want to have to see the 3 of them during the broadcast, so I just turned it off. I'll catch it next time, yeah. So, and then your pregame show starts at, you're just doing
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
The home games, we normally do an hour and a half because it's the preseason. We're right until kickoff, 11 to 12.
Beautiful.
And he'll be on the post game on the Fan. First segment.
Yeah, brief segment.
Really?
That's usually fill in the blanks with Muss until the coach is ready. So it's
sweet.
It's fun.
That sounds like great.
All right, it's fun, guys.
Yeah, I hope you get some transportation back out.
Here comes my guy right now.
Look at the timing. You got to ride. Look at that. They take care of you out here, Rosey.
Texting and driving. He's distracted.
Yeah, he's not paying attention to me.
I'll tell you, it's great to be Mark Rosey.
He's not stopping for me.
We'll see you next Tuesday back in studio.
Thank you.